Now it's time to wake up. Early in the morning. Woo! I know somebody yawning. Woo! But it's time to get the money, bro. Woo! You can't act funny about that money, yo. Early in the morning. Woo! Can I hit it in the morning? Woo! But then you gotta feed them kids. Jammin with Juice. Y'all know what the business is. What? I said what? I said what? I said what? It's Jammin with Juice. Y'all know what the business is. Call in. Hit the chat. Okay. Is that right? Okay. Fresh dinner.
What's up? Juicy Nation. And to all the juicy jammers out there, what's poppin'? And good morning, Milwaukee. You are now tapped into sipping on and waking up to
Is that right?
Jammin with Juice.
Okay.
Good morning, stream.
Okay.
I'm your girl, Noni Juice. Always
Fresh
keeping it
dinner,
juicy. And you already know I got my boy been jamming with me.
It is amazing.
Yeah, you hear him over there. He also on the ones and
Fresh
twos.
dinner.
And we are live
Lot
from the
more
Jammin with Juice
on my Papa
Studios
Bear.
at the Milky Way
Paul,
building,
it's
and
okay.
sponsored by Cindy Johnson, Allstate Insurance
Okay.
Agency in
Is that right?
Milwaukee.
Okay.
Happy
Okay.
Wednesday. Happy Wednesday,
Fresh
everyone.
dinner,
It is Hump Day.
And it is also Thanksgiving Eve.
It is Thanksgiving Eve. We're going to get into it, you guys. But first things first, we see a lot of our certified juicy jammers in the chat this morning. And you already know that we have to do our morning roll call. So without further ado, can you please give me my theme music? Shout out to and good morning to SE in the chat this morning.
SE.
We got boss lady herself, Cindy Johnson in the chat this morning. We got Willie Graves in the chat this morning.
Good morning, Willie.
We got KW in the chat this
good morning. Good morning,
we
my
got
dog.
Lady B Milwaukee in the chat
Lady
this
B,
morning.
good morning.
My girl Kayla.
Good morning, Kayla.
In the chat
Kayla
this
G, good morning.
We got Sir Chance.
Sir Chance, good morning, my
we
brethren.
got Jeff in the
Jeffrey,
chat
good
this
morning.
So many things going on in the chat this morning.
Hey.
Yes,
Everybody's
KW.
ready.
It looks like it is about to snow for sure.
I mean,
Or
but
it's about to be something going on outside.
they say the snow's supposed to stop at like 8:30 a.m. All right, and I'm
Wait,
hoping
when is it supposed to start?
What up, Trey? Good morning.
Trey in the building.
Yeah.
But when is it supposed to start? Because it feels like it's starting now. Like when I was driving in here this morning, I was
check my weather.
hearing and feeling all the little icy drops that's falling on the cars and stuff like that. And they say that yesterday actually was one of the busiest travel days in like the entire year. But today also is going to be another very busy travel day for people who are flying to their families. Because like you said, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow. And today is Thanksgiving Eve. Where y'all turning up at? Because y'all already know we be turning up.
You already got your Thanksgiving meals ready?
What do you mean?
Is you pre-cooking? Is you prepping for Thanksgiving?
No.
You're not doing none of the prepping? You don't got a pie ready for Thanksgiving tomorrow?
What you got?
What are you doing?
What do you have?
I mean, I'm asking you. The question is on you.
I answered the question. I don't have anything. So what do you have?
You're not bringing nothing? You don't got a Thanksgiving to pop up to.
I told my mama yesterday, I said, I'm going the Benjamin approach.
That's
and I'm
crazy.
just going to be the vibes.
I guess, I influence a lot. I influence a lot of them folks out there.
But like, we're not big cookers. Like me or my mama.
Yeah.
I told her yesterday, I said, this is why I don't know how to cook. Cause we both ain't no big cookers like that.
Yeah.
Really, it's like my auntie who's like the big cook. And like then
Cindy?
Corey, and then like Corey's granny and stuff always making food. So That's why I be house hopping.
Uh-huh.
But also, it's like in
I
this
think house hopping is
economy,
fire,
I'm
though.
unemployed. Like, I can't be affording to get butterball turkeys and macaroni and cheese ingredients and things of that nature. Greens are expensive.
Green's not that expensive, bro.
If you buying a bunch of what they call them, bushels.
Okay, never mind. If you use buying the bushels, then yeah.
That's what I'm saying. What did you think I'm talking about? The cans?
Cause like, okay, but that's
No,
if you
did
buy.
you think I was talking about the cans?
No, I didn't think you was talking about the cans.
Okay.
Cause I buy collard greens for fresh time all the time in Outpost. You know, so I pull up there and grab my collard greens. You know, so I know how inexpensive they can be, but that's just for me and my girl. Now, if you try to feed a whole family,
but that's what I'm saying.
different story.
It ain't finna be on my watch. Not right now.
Yeah,
you know, so
because you got to get the ham hock and everything.
Yeah, you got to put like the meats in it and just do
a little
all
turkey
the
leg.
things. Yeah, do all the things.
Dude
And
said
then
do all
Corey
the
don't
things.
eat cheese. So wait, what'd you say?
You say you got to do all the things, like.
It's a lot. Like, to make a full Thanksgiving meal, bro, that's a lot.
Okay,
you got
you know
the
what?
rolls, you got the dressing or the stuffing, the lunch lady stuffing in Ben's case.
Yeah.
You got the like turkey. Sometimes people also do chicken. Sometimes people also do ham. Like, do you not? That's a lot to try to cook.
I mean, you know what?
And
I'm
the
not
sweet
going to
potatoes
downplay
and the
it.
mac and cheese. Like, I really want to know. One day I'm going to do an experiment. Maybe next year I'm going to do an experiment, and I'm going to go around at the end of the checkout lines and ask everybody, how much was your bill today without the
you're
food
not.
stamps?
You're not going to do that.
One day. I'm
Okay.
into that type of stuff. Like making little videos. That's my the journalism coming out of me. Because
Y'all see how I'm looking?
I want to compare.
Y'all see how I'm looking right now? Come
I
on,
want
bro.
to compare. Like, how much did you just
Come
pay
on,
for
bro.
all of it? What does your receipt say for all of the that you're spending on Thanksgiving food? Because I know it's got to be like $200, $300 plus.
Nah, for real. I definitely have seen people, because I was in Walmart just the other day. I've seen people spending about like $300 to $400 this year for Thanksgiving dinners. You know, and when I'm saying, you know, they're spending that much, I'm seeing the grandmas spend that much. You know, I ain't seen the younger kids who more than likely don't have the money or the funds to do so.
Because they making
because
tacos.
the economy. But yeah, you know, but the grandma's definitely going out there spending that money, man, because it does take a lot to whip up a nice Thanksgiving meal.
It do.
You know, but at the same time,
That's why they say bring something.
you should bring something if you're going over a Friendsgiving. But personally, me, I think if it's a family thing, that's for the higher ups. Like how you say your auntie finna make it, I think auntie should be doing it. I ain't even gonna lie.
She don't want to do that. She's tired.
No,
She been doing it for 30 plus years.
and she's still making it out of love, which means a lot. You know, the person who throws down for Thanksgiving, they are special to the family.
The reason, probably because, no, it's time for the younger kids to step up.
What are you talking about yourself? Then you talking about yourself then.
I'm not a cook. That's what I'm saying.
Bro,
but
get your ass in that damn kitchen.
I'm
Gonna
just
whip
saying,
something up.
I'm just saying,
Get that wrist
man,
to stirring.
if the younger generation were to say, hey, older generation, hey, auntie, hey, grandma, hey, ma, like, you know what? I got it this year. Don't even worry about it. You think they're going to argue? You think they're going to put up a fight? They're going to be like, bet. I'm finna just pull up. My presence is a blessing. Ain't that what you be saying?
My presence is a presence.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, Juice, it's time for you to, you know, put your triceps and biceps to work. You always talking about how you been doing workouts and all of that. Let's see what you can really do in the kitchen. You need to stir that pot. You need to figure out how to put together a macaroni and cheese recipe meal. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need one of those. If you don't have one of these specialties, you're going to lose out one day. One day you're going to be 38 years old. What you going to do then?
I mean, eventually I will do it. But as of right now, with the small, because I'm in like a little apartment too. It's not a lot of space.
What does that mean? You got a stove? Do you have a stove?
Yeah, but I don't like my stove.
You can use that stove.
You want to know? Okay, can I be very honest with y'all? When I first got my apartment, I was so excited because I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to learn how to cook because I have my own space. I got my own stove and all the things. But one thing about my apartment that I have dealt with the entire time that I've been there is there's no ventilation in there.
Okay.
Like when like you're cooking and stuff like that. And I learned that, yes, but my apartment building be saying like, hey, when it's under a certain like, when it's really cold outside, like don't open up the windows because it messes up things. So they be telling us don't open up our window at certain times.
What kind of dictatorship you under?
And I'm like, okay,
you got a window that you pay for, but you can't use it?
I can use it, and I sneakily use it, but that still don't help 100%.
Yeah.
So early on, that's one of the reasons why I stopped kind of cooking in a sense.
Even
because
attempting.
every single time I would make something, even if it was like in the air fryer. I used to love my air fryer. My dad bought me an air fryer, and I would try to make chicken wings, and all of a sudden it just would be so smoky in there that it would hurt my eyes, and my eyes would start like burning, and I would be like, man, it's just really smoky in here. So I would open up a window. That would only help a little bit.
Did you turn a fan on?
Yeah, I would turn fans on. I would do everything, bro. It's like there's no vents for real in my place. It's like an older building. So I just was like, I'm not about to be dealing with this every time I gotta cook, even when I use the oven. And I don't really like to use my oven anymore unless it's like for cookies.
So basically it gets like very hot and humid.
It gets hot, it gets humid, it gets steam. Like not even a steamy, it's like smoky.
And you can
like
feel
things are cooking, and then it gets in my eyes.
Man, it sounds like you're really living through oppression. You know, it sounds like you are being oppressed.
So I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. So, and then on top of it being like a smaller space, like I don't have a lot of countertop space. I'm not about to be fighting and cooking all this food in my oven and on the stove, and it's just hot and smoky and steamy. I'm not doing that.
Well,
once I get a house one day, I'll attempt at another time.
One day we need a nice turkey from Juice. You know, we need a juicy turkey from Juice. You know what I'm saying? We need a ham from her. You know, I'm pretty certain your family would love it.
Yeah, one day I'm going to have them help me.
Yeah, man.
Miss Anita Nicole said, I used to spend about $300 when my house was full.
Makes
my
sense,
kids were only allowed to wash dishes while cooked and take out trash to help keep my space clear.
No, that's fine.
See? And I do hear that too. They don't be wanting nobody in the kitchen when they cooking, because it's like, you gonna mess up stuff. Go sit down somewhere. Go play your game or something.
Anita Nicole know how to go ahead and put people in position. You know, got to play your role. You know, if you're going to be in this kitchen, you need to take the trash out. If you're going to be in this kitchen, you need to wash dishes. I like that, though, because on Thanksgiving Day, that very morning, it is a whole, you know, masterpiece being conducted. You know what I'm saying? From the morning, from the time you wake up. And even for some people, they start cooking, today, for some people, they're finna start making their pies and desserts. And then tomorrow morning, they'll make like the main entrees.
And see, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a 2-day, 3-day process, bro.
Depending on how big your family is.
And I want to know, can y'all put in the chat for everybody who is actually cooking this year? Like, how soon do you start getting the ingredients? Like, do you get it on this past weekend? You know,
do you do it today?
When it was Sunday? Do you do it like Monday? Because I would think that the week of, everything would be sold out.
Yeah.
Because it's like everybody's going in getting the same stuff, or maybe the grocery store stock up even more on it. I don't know those problems. I don't cook on Thanksgiving. But I always wonder, I'm like, man, people got to clear out their fridge for the week just so they could get the ingredients in there so they can start preparing for it. It's just a long process.
And especially if you have people coming over to your house too. That's a whole nother process, right? Because if
you got to clean.
Yeah, you got your cousins coming over. You know, you got to clean up, man. Like, I remember vividly how my mom would, make us clean up all of our bedrooms. It felt like agony. You know, when people used to come to our crib, I'm like, damn, like, I got to clean my bedroom. I got to clean the hallway. I got to wipe down a wall or something. You know, I used to hate it.
Because you never know. People be nosy. Like, when you got people over your house,
they be judgmental. That be the thing.
They gonna look behind them shower curtains. They gonna open up them bedroom doors. They gonna swipe their hand across the mantle to see, like, if it's dust there. Man. People just be so nosy, and it's like, go and sit down somewhere. This is why you don't allow everybody in your crib. Yeah, don't allow everybody in your house.
This is why certain people can't come to the crib, because you're too damn judgmental. All right, y'all been knowing me for 365 days out the year. You came over my crib and felt like you knew my whole entire life. That's crazy. All right.
Then babies end up falling asleep, like on the
floor.
No, like on somebody's bed. Probably your bed.
Oh no, that is real. You know.
And the coat room.
And that's when adult activities start to kick in, though, right? You know, that's later on in the day when everybody can sit back and sip a little bit. But somebody then brought their baby over, and they borrowed your bedroom. All them types of things.
What time do y'all be eating?
What time do y'all be eating? Not for real though.
Or do you remember?
Nah, I would say
you don't really do much the last few years. I feel like.
Nah, I really haven't. But I would say normally if it was like back when I was a kid, my mom would get done probably around 3 p.m. because she would start cooking the night beforehand. So literally today is when my mom would start cooking, and then tomorrow about like that 2 p.m. ish or whatever. Yeah, the food will be done because she got to make certain that she's ready to watch football for the rest of the day. She don't want to be bothered, and respectfully, just like Auntie said, she may be throwing down and putting together all these foods, but when she done cooking, she done cooking. Don't talk to her no more.
No, facts.
You know what I'm saying?
100%. Well, I hope y'all are excited and ready for Thanksgiving. It's gonna be a fun time, enjoy it with your family.
Where the cousins with the bag at? You know what I'm saying?
What type of bag? Money bags?
Yeah.
I can't answer that for you.
I'm just saying, most cousins, they get that bag together, then they take that cousin walk. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I ain't gonna lie, that was always the best times, though.
You on some other stuff.
I'm just saying, linking up with your cousins over a period of time when you ain't seen them. You be like, damn, on what you got this girl pregnant? On what you about to get married? On what you got a new baby?
Guess.
That's what I'd be looking forward to.
All right, y'all. So I kind of want to switch gears just a little bit because I don't think I'm going to bring this up in something you say. That's going to be coming up soon. But I was talking to Ben yesterday because I finally saw the video of Morgan Geyser, the Slender Man stabber who escaped literally over this weekend. I finally saw the video and watched it of her being found with this person that she was with that I believe maybe might have been like just a friend of hers, but
some kind of pen pal.
But she said I was just so confused. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was looking at this video and I'm like, what is happening here? Because Morgan Geyser and the person who she was with, who goes by Chad Mecca, Morgan was in the video seen saying things like, don't do anything to her. She didn't know anything about this. Like, please let her go. Like, don't take her into custody. Don't do any of those things. And I'm just like, why didn't you think of this ahead of time? Like, am I tripping for thinking that? I was like, why? Did you really think that you were going to be able to just escape where you escaped from, and you and your friend who helped you to escape, or I don't want to say helped you to escape, but you and your friend who you are traveling with now at this point, did you really think y'all weren't going to get caught? And to say like, oh my gosh, she didn't know anything about it. Don't just let her go. Obviously she knew something. Obviously she knew that you were somewhat on the run, and that makes her part of the problem.
Complicit to a crime.
Exactly. What do they call an accomplice?
Yeah.
Like, that makes you an accomplice to the crime. And so that wasn't going to work out in your favor.
Mm-hmm. No, and that's one of the things, though, just because I'm thinking to myself, like, first off, I told y'all, I knew for a fact this was some kind of weird older white man. All right.
It's a she.
We know what that was, okay? That is a man in a wig, all right? Wanted to be go by she, her, and all them other pronouns, but that was a man in a wig, okay? And he didn't even have a wig; he had on a bad hairpiece, all right? And I just know if I was going that way, I'm not hitting that, all right? At the end of the day, I was very interested in all of this or whatever, just seeing the fact that, this girl was able to attempt an escape. And my thing of it all was like, damn. My thing of it all was like, damn, like, who in the world constructed this trip with her? Because I was like, it has to be like Uber out there. Somebody was using the Uber. Somebody was using a Lyft to get Morgan Geyser from Wisconsin into Illinois. My thing is, why did they stop, though? If they just stopped at a truck stop, for me, it was just like, y'all knew y'all was going to get caught at some point. And maybe that's what it was. Maybe they ended up trying to escape the vehicle because they knew, that an alert had got put out and sent out there for them.
Right. Okay. So I ended up looking up who this Chad Mecca person is. Mm-hmm. And according to WISN 12, this is what they're saying. So on the run for 24 hours, Morgan Geyser and her friend were caught sleeping behind an Illinois truck stop. So I know you said before, like, oh, how did they get there? I think they took the bus, and they were found sleeping behind this truck stop. Now, Geyser and the person that she was with, Chad Mecca, first gave police fake names the body camera video shows. And then that is when the police ended up cuffing them, and they were refusing to give up their identities, which it's like, you're making it worse for yourself. Don't even think about giving fake names. It's not going to work. They're literally going to look you up. And that's what they told them. They were like, listen, I just got to find out who you are, and then you could be on your way. That is what they told this 43-year-old Chad Mecca. They're 43 years old. Yeah. Sitting in the back of the squad car. They kept saying, like, no, it's not going to happen. We're not going to give you our identity. And then Geyser is on the body camera saying she's transgender, later telling the police that Mecca was 43 years old. And I'm just like, how did they meet, though? how did they meet? How are they even friends? Because she's been locked up for a minute.
Yeah.
And that's why you keep saying that this is her like pen pal or something like that.
Something like that, bro.
Meeting up with her to figure out how they could just run off in the sunset together.
Straight
and
up.
I'm like, this is just a crazy story.
Yeah, dog. Like my thing is, again,
they were trying to go to Nashville.
They was gonna, bro.
That's what they said. They said according to guys, they were potentially making their way to Nashville, Tennessee.
They would have definitely stuck out in Nashville, Tennessee. They would have never been able to hide down there. One thing that I know about Nashville is it's very black in Nashville. You know, most people would think that the population down there is typically just a whole bunch of Caucasians, but no, it's definitely a lot of black people down there. They would have stuck out. And even given the fact of how people view people as dumb, I'll just be like, wow, like this is messed up, man.
Right. All right. So even continuing this story, bro.
Yeah.
So they said that court records show that Mecca does not have a criminal record in Wisconsin, but a civil case shows a judge granted a temporary restraining order for a woman against Chad Mecca. Court records show that she claimed Mecca was sexually assaulting her adult child inside her home while Mecca and the adult child temporarily lived there. So I know that he wasn't
Birds of a feather flock together.
They just gave a restraining order. She didn't face any criminal charges in the case, but I still feel like it's all just weird. And I'm just trying to figure out how they even know each other, which I have not been able to find that part out just yet. But I don't know. They gonna have to figure that out.
No, I think this is just another arc in Morgan Geyser's story. You know, when somebody decides to make this whole documentary about her life, because it will happen. And I mean, it's already happened to some degree, but really doing her whole full life or whatever until she's out of the prison system, because she's not supposed to get out until she's about like 52 years old anyway. So when that actually does happen and the story comes to an end, somebody will put that in there as you know, her climax in her story, so to speak.
Yeah, but that's just crazy to me, y'all. Like, that is absolutely insane. There's a few things that I want to get into with something juicy. So hopefully I can get to all. Well, I guess I can get to all of them at this point.
Yeah, you definitely can.
Yeah. But the main thing that we're going to be talking about a little bit later after something juicy, it is stemming from Kandi Burruss and her soon-to-be ex-husband Todd. A lot has been bubbling about them and their divorce, and because it was announced that they are going to get a divorce. She filed for a divorce at least, and there's a clip that is brewing thinking that he pretty much made all of this up for a while, that he wanted to get a divorce for a while because he was plotting on her, trying to get her money and all of the things. And so it made me think, like, when it comes to somebody getting a divorce, who deserves to get the money? Like, how do y'all decide to split it up? Because I feel like the conversations that are being had on social media is split in the middle between what men are saying and like what women are saying, obviously, because we're just so divided on social media every freaking day, right? But I want to know, who is in the right to take certain parts and pieces of the money that they have made together, or even that they have made separately? Like, if a man is getting a divorce, should he give some of his money to his wife and vice versa? Or are we picking and choosing how all of that should necessarily work? Because that's what it seems like people are kind of doing, and I wanted to get y'all opinion on it. So that's what we're gonna kind of get into a little bit later. But right now, though, do you have the thing pulled up?
Yeah.
All right, so right now, though, we are going to hear a word from our sponsors before we get into something juicy.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm thick-cut bacon sizzling on your stove. And while you were over there smearing your bagel, this little piggy went on a splatter spree. And if you don't have the right home insurance coverage, you'll be crying wee over this fire in your home. So get Allstate.
Contact Milwaukee Allstate agent Cindy Johnson today at 414-445-2558.
Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's known in juice. You know we keeping it juicy. Spilling truth with a smile so sweet. Talking all the buzz from the blogs and the tweets. From the headline to the hometown streets. She bring the flavor, can't nobody compete. Something juicy with Nani Juicy. Talk of the town, yeah, she got the news. Keeping it fun, keeping it true. It's something juicy, keeping it juicy too.
All right, you guys. So, the first thing that I kind of want to bring up for something juicy is about a man that we had talked about. I believe it was like last week, Friday, when I had brought the story to the airwaves, talking about somebody being found hanging on a Brookfield golf course.
Right.
And have you seen that the news has finally started talking about it?
I just saw it.
Did you really?
Yeah, no, I just saw it just yesterday. Now his family's asking for questions and things, and all those things. They want questions, and the police need to
answers?
provide them answers.
Right.
There you go.
They have questions and they want some answers. I'm just glad that I started seeing the news kind of pick it up, and I almost feel like they were kind of forced to, because it was so big on social media that they were like, okay, we have to figure out what's really going on here. But I wanted to give y'all an update on the story. So a family is calling for answers after a man was found dead on a Brookfield golf course. This is according to WISN 12. So Brookfield police said first responders found the man hanging from a tree at the Brookfield Hills golf course near I-94 and Moreland Road early Thursday morning, November 13th. Family identified the man as 39-year-old Torrance or Tory Medley. Chief Chris Garcia said while their investigation remains open, evidence points to Medley's death being a suicide. So they are still saying that they think he took his own life. But their family is saying that they still want some form of closure. So they are calling for police to do a thorough investigation, all right? Because they just want to make sure that if it was a suicide, and the sister has been seen on camera saying this, but she was saying if it was a suicide, will accept that. If it wasn't a suicide, like, I would hope that the police and investigators will be doing their job to figure out exactly what happened, to pretty much get justice for her brother. And so pretty much she was saying that he was there, I think, by himself, living here in like Milwaukee, but she's not sure how he even got to Brookfield because he doesn't have a car. So that's why she's like, I just wonder, what was he doing there? Why was he at this golf course? Like, it's just so many, like you said, so many questions that they have. But they were saying that Tory was found with a strap around his neck and the other end was attached to a tree branch. And so now they're just waiting, I guess, just waiting to see what was going to go on. She did say that she noticed that her brother had some form of struggles, mental health issues going on, but she doesn't believe that he would have taken his own life.
Yeah.
Especially just so randomly in Brookfield like that.
Yeah. I think that's very unfortunate, and the situation is unfortunate. Shout out to him, and God bless him. May he rest peacefully forever. I find this suspicious. I do find this very fishy, man. For one, okay, if you're a black man who already resides closer to the city of Milwaukee, why in the hell are you going out to Brookfield in the first place to kill yourself? It has no, significance to your life. At least that's what I believe. I would be led to believe. It wouldn't even have no significance about, like, because most people, when they are deciding to end their own lives, a lot of people just do this in their own home, But if he didn't have a car, had no way to get out there, what did he do? Uber out there? Did he take the train out there?
Yeah.
Did he fly out there?
That's why they're calling for, like, if anybody has some type of surveillance video, they would like for the surveillance video to come out to just show, like, okay, how did he get there? When did he get there? What time was everything going on? Because it's just honestly really weird. Yeah, and it's also one of them things where, why aren't the police using his phone to, like, track his location to figure out where he was beforehand and how he got to Brookfield? Did he arrive with a phone in his pocket? It's all those questions, man, because as we do see, things happen around the country, now they're happening right back here in our own home, in our own backyard right here in Milwaukee, where a black man is being found hanging by a tree, and the police are possibly trying to cover it up by stating, like, hey, you know what, I believe that this was a suicide versus it actually being a hate crime. Because I remember last week we didn't even really know
tell what the race of the gentleman was. They weren't even releasing that type of information. They just said they found a man hanging. They never said it was a race thing. And I went on to go say, this is on record. And I was like, look, if it was a white guy, you know what? I would believe that he may have done these things. However, if it's a black guy, this would be looked at as a hate crime. And now it's being looked at as a potential hate crime. So we really have to, I guess, wait and see.
I don't know if it is really.
But I said a potential hate crime, because we don't know if this is suicide and we don't know if this was a hate crime that ended up going down. So it's potentially, it could be a hate crime that's being covered up.
Yeah. I just wish they would say that versus saying, like, right now we're saying it was a suicide because we don't see any foul play. Well, it's like they're already trying to just rule out the potential for that to be a thing.
And see, that's the thing though, Juice, because when it comes down to scenarios like this, there's PR behind this, right? They have to realize, what's going to happen with public safety. Right now, a lot of people are just coming back on the fact that, like, hey, you know what? Our EBT SNAP benefits that just came in, they're trying to worry about those types of things. It's Thanksgiving this week. They're thinking about all the PR ideas that may happen if this comes out as a hate crime in the state of Wisconsin, basically in the city of Milwaukee. Do they want another 2020 all over again? Do they want another George Floyd all over again? Because for this to happen in Wisconsin and then, could potentially, again, like I said before, be looked at as a hate crime, you never know what the public outcry might be and what they may do, especially around these times when times are getting hard.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've never thought of a city having like PR.
Yeah.
I just thought it was, just facts.
Nah, man, it's PR.
Because it's like, if it really is something that happened, you have to be honest about it, But I guess I never looked at how a city could face backlash over something happening that they didn't necessarily have nothing to do with. That's why I guess I don't look at it as PR.
Okay.
I just look at it as they don't care that much, or it's just something that they didn't want to, I don't know, really talk about like that. But maybe that's the whole PR idea.
I would, that's what I would go on to say. PR is kind of what we do each and every day. It's mass communications. It's how people will interpret a story, especially around a given time and moment or a political climate that we may be in. And that's what we are in right now. It's a very bad political climate to where race is at question, for a lot of people. I was thinking about this on the way of me driving up here about how, again, president can influence the minds and the masses of the people and cause them to do more damage. And I just remember this is literally the first time Donald Trump had got elected. This is 2016, November 4th or whatever may have you. I remember being discriminated against in an interview just literally that day, and I never had been discriminated against before. So, I said that all to say that you never know how one world leader could be impacting how other people feel about others in this time and day.
I was just upset that the news took so long to report on this.
Yeah, everybody was upset with the news.
Why did
Which makes it sound fishy. Don't that sound suspicious?
Why did you guys not pick it up earlier? Like,
right.
As soon as you saw that it was going to be a thing, and as soon as because they get the notifications, like get the inside scoops immediately from police departments of something really big going on, and they should be it should be like breaking news, honestly, if you were to ask me. So for it to have taken days and days and to face like public pressure,
6'7",
public pressure to even highlight the issue and bring awareness to it, to me that was just foul.
Yeah,
it was completely foul, because as media, it is your job to inform the people of what is going on within their communities, and that is something really big that I'm sure people who live in Brookfield wanted to know what was going on. People who live in just the greater areas of Milwaukee wanted to know what was going on, and that is y'all responsibility to report on it. Yeah. Even if you don't have the full details yet, they always are out here talking about topics that they don't have full details on just yet. But if it's something that's really big and it's breaking news, they still gonna say what they do know temporarily. So I just feel like the lack of urgency around this man was really just foul to me, and I don't appreciate it.
And this is around or at a golf course. This is where this happened at.
Yeah, like the golf course should have came out and said something too.
But see, this is all what I'm saying when it comes down to this idea of them finding a black man hanging, in a golf course in Brookfield. It's one of these things where, you never know the relationships that the people who may have done this to this gentleman have, especially being on a golf course. People who are tied to golf courses typically have a little bit more political influence than the regular civilian out here. So when you're talking about the media coming out there and being able to do the job, I've seen it before where the media couldn't do their job because certain people didn't want the media to get in, because they didn't want the media to have that kind of insight into what truly was happening. I mean, again, when the media did report on it very early on, everything was super, super vague. It didn't even come from one of our, one of our elite news sites or newscasts that we have out here, whether it was Fox 6, WISN 12, TMJ4, CBS 58. None of these accredited news places, whatever, commented on it at all. So then these were the voices we were actually looking to hear from, on top of other radio influencers.
Right, for sure.
So
now I'm gonna keep it pushing with some more Milwaukee news, because this is in my neck of the woods, you guys. A busy Milwaukee intersection will soon feature a blinking red light instead of a traditional traffic signal part of a pilot project aimed at reducing speeding and improving pedestrian safety.
Where's it going to be at,
according to TMJ4 News. So starting December 1st, you guys, drivers at the intersection of Humboldt and Brady Streets will encounter the new four-way stop configuration. The 30-day pilot project is a partnership between Milwaukee's Department of Public Works and the Brady Street Business Improvement District. So on Humboldt and Brady, they're gonna test for 30 days to not have like an actual real light that goes from like green, yellow, red, and they're just gonna do a constant blinking red light. So everybody has to kind of almost like a stop sign in a sense, instead of having like a light there, just to ensure that everybody is like paying attention to what's going on and everybody has the opportunity to kind of like stop. And with that being a heavily pedestrian field area, especially down there on weekends and at nighttime, because it's a really big like bar scene and stuff like that. I think that's why they're trying to like calm the area down just a little bit, especially since it's right before you're about to start going to Water Street. So they just want people to kind of slow down a little bit and see if that's going to fix anything.
Reduce
because there was just a hit and run incident there back in April, and so people keep just saying like we need to find something else to do, some type of traffic, some type of calming things to do in the area, and so that's what they feel like needs to happen. Now some people,
I ain't gonna lie. Go ahead.
I was gonna say people are kind of excited about it. I would say it's like mixed reviews, because some people are saying like I don't really think that's gonna like help anything or solve anything, but then you have other people like the man who was hit back in April saying like something is better than nothing, or even a teacher who's at a school that's very close by. She's like, a lot of kids have to walk across the street to go to the school, and they have to cross that intersection, and so if everybody is just more aware of what's going on and not just rushing through because they have a green light, it could help solve some issues. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. This sounds like a good idea. And I see this on a plethora of different levels, right? Because on the top, everybody's just concerned about safety, and I can see how this could slow down traffic and make people, have to focus more on their neighbors out there while they're driving, right? So secondly, on top of that, I also want to say that this may help you get a better feel for your actual community, because as you driving, right, imagine you driving, you pull up that red light, and the red light is blinking. In order to make this turn and make certain that everybody around you is doing exactly what they're supposed to do, you gotta have that eye contact. You gotta have that strong eye contact where you look to the left, now you go. And then you look to the right, oh no, you go. And then you see somebody that and be like, all right, what's up? But then you be like, okay, we good, now we can go. So I think this will help better communications, especially when you're talking about even the youth out here who are always on their phones, or people who are always on their phones, who are constantly driving distracted. If I have to start and then stop and start and then stop just to get to the red light and look in somebody else's eyes before I'm able to proceed, I think that will help everybody out.
How you looking in their eyes at the light?
You ain't never looked in nobody's eyes before, like as you had to drive and make a left turn. Come on now. Women are bad drivers. Let's go.
Look people in the eye.
Yeah, bro, because you have to have that kind of traffic signaling. Like, if I'm finna make a left, like, it'd be like, okay, look this person in the eyes. You go first. You go second. You don't be driving like that, bro. You ain't never made that kind of contact with somebody.
Sometimes it be far, like the distance be too far to be able to see people's eyes.
Nah, bro, there's always some kind of like communication you can have with somebody as you driving like that, fam. Especially when the lights, like, say for instance, the power lines that went out. And you're driving.
It's nighttime though, bro. Like you can't see nobody's eyes, fam. What are you talking about?
Okay, so then you may actually blink your lights. Yeah, you've never done this before, bro. You actually scaring me right now. You've never looked nobody in their eyes as you drove before.
I'm not saying I never have, but it's
you
not
are a
something
scary
that
driver.
I make sure I do every single time.
Bro, it's snowing outside.
You can't see people's eyes all the time, bro.
Okay, look.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that I believe
people need to just know the rules of the road. Now, I get if I'm in my neighborhood.
You
and
don't
it's
communicate
like,
with nobody as you driving. That's crazy.
I'm not saying I don't communicate, but I'm saying every little move that I make, I'm not looking at people in their eyes. If anything, I'm looking at their wheels to see if they finna go when I'm finna go. And if they are
you looking at the wheels, bro, you're not actually looking at the person.
Bro, if I can't see them because they on the side, you can't see
you
people's
are really
eyes,
scaring me
bro.
right now, Juice. Like, I don't want to see you on the road, bro.
Okay.
I don't want to see you on the road.
All right.
See, and you up here supposed to be speaking for all women.
I'm not speaking for all women.
You're supposed to be speaking for all women, and now you're making women look bad.
I'm not speaking for all women.
There's a stigma out there saying that women are bad drivers.
I think you're a terrible driver.
I'm a great driver.
No, you're a speeder, and every single person who has been in a car with you has been holding on for dear life, including myself. So I think you're the most terrible person to be talking about what people doing on the road.
Did you die though?
I don't want to.
Did you die though?
This is what I'm talking about. You
still alive, ain't you?
All I'm saying is I'm not always looking at people in their eyes. That's weird, especially if they're on the side of you. You can't even see them.
This is why I said this is a good idea. This is a good idea for communication, because you one of the people that like that type of communication. You need a little more intimate communication with your community out there. So if you have to look somebody in the eyes as you are driving, making a left or right turn, so be it. Because at the end of the day, both of y'all are safe. But going off of what you just said, you might just end up in an accident.
You're making it seem
looking at somebody's tires.
No, but I'm saying if we're at a stop sign, right, and we both got there at the same time, before I fully put my foot on the pedal to like go, I make sure that they're not also about to go. So if I can't see their face, then I'm looking at their tires to see if they're moving.
Okay, maybe that's a good backup plan then. Like, it shouldn't be your first one.
But sometimes you just can't see their face, because if they're at the side of you, and your windows is tinted and their windows is tinted, how are you seeing somebody's eyes, bro? That just don't. And then people wear sunglasses. What are you saying? Like, bro, you are making no sense.
You just don't think like a man. You think like a woman out there just driving.
I'm about to ask Corey right now.
You make left turns out of nowhere.
Text him right
you just
now.
be making left turns.
No, I'm finna text him right now. Do you be looking at people in the eyes? Do you be looking?
All right, everybody, be safe.
At people in the eyes.
Left and right. Hell no, bro. You should when you driving, bro. Like, if it's a nice sunny day outside, it's the daylight, you should definitely look somebody in their eyes before you making a left or right turn. You looking at the tires is mad wild to me. If you just looking at the tires, bro, I don't see how you just safe. What I will say is that could you should look for different signals. If you can't see anybody out there and it's dark late night, you should definitely look for other signals.
Said, hell no.
Man, Corey tripping. I don't know about y'all drivers in Milwaukee then.
Who was looking at somebody in their eyes, bro? Was that part of your driver's ed?
Bro, yeah, bro.
Special ed. That's what it sounds like.
Bro, that's
tripping.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do, bro. I just
look them in the eyes. I have never heard that before.
Bro, yeah,
maybe that's just something you do.
Nah, B.
Like, I get sometimes if like, even if you can't see them, sometimes people make motion like, hey,
okay,
go ahead. But like, to wait to look for somebody, you out here like, I gotta see the eyes first. Like, bro, what?
Bro, so you telling me?
You're tripping.
Okay, so bro,
you're tripping.
So bro, you get to an intersection, right?
You think weird.
No, let me ask you, bro. So you get to an intersection, right? And everybody gets to the intersection at the very same time as you. How do you communicate with other drivers to tell who's going first and who's going second, fam? Like, do you look to the left and like give them a head nod or something? Do you just wave them through? Like, what do you do?
I guess you just wave them through.
Because I would say all of that starts with looking in the eyes.
Okay. I don't think so. It starts with you just see emotion.
I mean, bro, look, I just know that I know how to drive safe. I've never been in an accident before. God willing, God, God. I just hope that God never has me in a car accident ever with what I just said. But at the same time, I've never been in an accident before like that. Well, at least when I was driving, I should say. Everybody else is driving. I've definitely been in different accidents with them before. But if you look in somebody's eyes or whatever, as you meet up at that intersection, I think that's
saying it's not something I'm doing literally every time I drive. Like with every turn I make, I'm not looking at somebody in the eye.
I'm being very intentional while driving.
Whatever. All right, I'm moving along.
You can be safe with Ben. I may speed.
Just understand,
but we gonna get where we need
December
to be.
1st, be aware. Make sure you're looking at people in the eyes when you're on Humboldt and Brady.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all know who need to go at what time. Because this is just ridiculous. All right, I'm moving right along, you guys, because it just dropped yesterday that 50 Cent's documentary about Sean Puffy Combs. Sean Diddy, what would you say? Sean Diddy Puffy Combs.
You got it.
He got so many names. But The Reckoning is coming out. So 50 Cent's documentary on Diddy titled Sean Combs, The Reckoning. It is dropping on Netflix literally next week on December 2nd.
That's crazy. 2 days before Hov's birthday.
50 Cent. What does that have to do with me?
Anyway,
50 Cent made the announcement. He posted, and in the caption, he said, "They said I was capping. What happened? GLG, Green Light Gang, G Unit Film and TV, 50 Cent action. It's coming." So, yeah.
Damn.
It's coming out December 2nd. Now, what all is going to be in it, I'm not sure. But I'm sure everybody is going to be watching it. Netflix has got a lot of money.
Man.
Everything going to Netflix.
I will say this. Netflix has been moving spectacular throughout the tenure of their, journey. They went from, just videotape sending it to your house to honestly being mentioned as one of the big 6 networks at this point. They're in deals with Comcast and all these other places. But
Jesus, you get a backstory to everything.
Hey, I just be doing some stuff, man. For real. Shout out to Netflix though. I aspire to have something like that one day. But anyway, nah, man, I'm really sad though, bro, because like 50, like what's really going on? 50 Cent, like for real, what is up with you and Diddy,
looking
fam?
you in the eyes.
I really am.
Driving.
I'm looking 50 Cent in the eyes, Curtis Jackson in the eyes right now, bro. Like, what really happened, fam, between you and Diddy? Why are you assisting in this man's TKO? You know what I'm saying? He's already out. He's already down and out. And
what's their beef, bro?
What is their beef, man? Because
is there beef?
It has to be some kind of beef, fam. Because look, 50, I know you could be a bully. I know you could be a bully, fam. I get it, fam. And you think it's hilarious. And some of the stuff is really funny. But come on, bro. Don't put him in the casket. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Like, come on now. Don't kick a man when he's down. He's already down. Come on.
But we don't know what is going to be in this documentary about Diddy, though. Like, what if it's not really nothing so bad? Like, what if it's just like a nice little family film with him in the studio making music, like how he built up his empire?
Man, knowing 50 Cent,
it could be something good.
Knowing 50 Cent, that's not it, bro. 50 Cent said before that he was going to expose this man. It could be, I think I just found a connection. I just thought about it.
Let me figure it out.
The connection could truly be that 50 Cent's baby mama, 50 Cent's baby mama was also one of Diddy's side chicks. All right, he was having the threesomes with Cassie.
Never mind. It said it's going to be released on Netflix December 2nd, 2025. The series will explore the allegations and controversies surrounding Combs, featuring interviews with people connected to the cases and industry insiders.
Yeah, man, come on, 50, man. Like, and it's just, I think it's also rooted not in even just the baby mama situation, but this also might be some hip hop stuff. You feel me? Where 50 Cent has always wanted the crown and be called the king of New York. The way 50 Cent probably sees this is probably just him, Jay-Z, and Diddy, who was at the top, and maybe even Nas. But 50 Cent making his own, mark and stamp in Hollywood as the TV film producer that he has become, doing something like this, he knows he has a following that's going to go ahead and click on this on Netflix on December 2nd. And I'm going to watch too, because I'm a journalist, so that's what I got to do.
Stop saying that. Because after what you said yesterday, you are not.
Look, what I said yesterday, and I hope people who know Benjamin knows what I mean. At the end of the day, I would just like to put, our children through weighted English classes. That's truly it. Put them through weighted English classes, and a sixth grader doing English shouldn't have just a sixth grade English course. They should be doing 12th grade English, in my opinion. I see all these other countries being able to do it. I think we should teach our kids earlier. That's all. That's it.
I think this documentary is now going to be really good. So I'm on Netflix.com and they're kind of talking about, what it all is going to be about.
Yeah.
And they're like, through explosive, never before seen materials, including exclusive interviews with those formerly in Combs' orbit, this documentary will lay out the story of a powerful, enterprising man and the gilded empire that he built, as well as the underworld that lay just beneath its surface. So I think in this 4-part series, you're really going to get a lot of the backstory about Diddy and how he rose to fame, but also how you can have your fall from grace.
Interesting.
So with 50 Cent doing this, honestly, I think he's just a businessman. He sees the opportunity that it would generate a lot of views, a lot of eyes, a lot of money, and he's a troll as well. So with him being a troll, it's like that's his personality. That's his brand.
It's his
trolling.
MO.
And the fact that he can troll and also make money in the process by
why not?
Why not? People gonna watch it. Do people not like 50 Cent? I feel like he still has the respect of some people.
No, 50 Cent is definitely respected.
Yeah, it was
in the hip-hop
business, right?
community, and in the business community as well. It's just one of these things where, my question is always, where does your loyalty lie? And I remember 50 Cent saying before that, you guys wonder why I've never came out and spoken on politics or ever spoken on race issues inside of America. Is basically because as he sees corporate America, once you start to talk about those types of things or pick what side you're on, whether you may call yourself a black nationalist or somebody who's a part of the MAGA party, because remember he also went on to go say that there was rumors, I should say, that 50 Cent was going to perform at the RNC. There was rumors, never really happened. It's just one of these things where I would never try to take down somebody who brought me in the game, because I remember also 50 Cent wrote songs for P. Diddy before. He sat down at label dealings with P. Diddy before, and Diddy to some degree had showed him an insight of the industry that nobody else was willing to even show 50 Cent. So it's just one of these things where I'm kind of upset with 50 Cent for it, but I'm definitely going to watch this because I'd much rather have somebody who has our kind of perspective on or outlook on life doing this versus somebody who wasn't from the community doing this. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, y'all. So the last thing I do want to bring up real quick for something juicy is the fact that Rush Hour 4 is officially in the works. They're saying it is in the works after a push from Donald Trump. So according to reports, Rush Hour 4 is officially in the works with Paramount set to distribute it. The long-delayed sequel movie or move forward after President Donald Trump personally urged the studio to revive the franchise. And I'm just like, me and Ben were talking about this a little bit off air when it comes to Rush Hour 4, because what did you say to me? What did you even like about this?
Okay, I just want to throw this out there that it's amazing that Donald Trump can get this done.
That's all you're gonna say?
That's it. Donald Trump can get this done, man. A lot of people have thought about the movie Rush Hour 4 coming out, and it seems like to me that Donald Trump is getting this project out and then put into the works. I'm so surprised that everybody basically just jumped up to get this started. I'm surprised at that, man.
You're surprised at it?
Yeah, I'm surprised, bro.
I need to know for sure whether or not Trump has something to do with it.
Good morning, Tyler.
I need to know that Trump has something to do with Rush Hour 4 being put into place, because one thing that I know for certain is the fact that Donald Trump, our president that we currently have right now, he loves to attach himself to ideas to make it seem like he is the reason why it's going forward, or he's the reason why it's even a thing, when most of the time it doesn't have anything to do with him. One example that I can give you is the stimulus checks. The fact that he wanted to put his signature on those stimulus checks so people thought that he was the person who was giving you the money, that's crazy to me, you know? Trying to change the narrative, you know? Change people's perspective of, oh my God, this man is giving us money. He must be a good guy. Or even like, who said this in the chat just now? Trey, who said Donald Trump showed love to Shador recently. And I agree with that. He did show love to Shador recently after Shador, you know, was able to win the game for the Cleveland Browns and made history with them for multiple reasons. And he comes out and talks about how well Shador is and how he's a wonderful man and all of these things. Like, it's crazy how he just tries to attach himself to ideas. And I wouldn't be surprised if this Rush Hour 4 situation was very similar to that, where it was somewhat like, I could see it have been like in the works. You know, people are talking about it. He gets the inside scoop on, oh, it might be in the works. So now I'm going to say, hey, I'm pushing for this to be a thing. I wouldn't be surprised by that. I truly wouldn't. But if it's not, and he actually was the main reason why we will be getting a Rush Hour 4, I just want to know how the actors in the film feel about that, or the people part of production in the film feel about that.
Get to work.
Because to them, it might just be a check, you know, to be honest.
I mean, that's okay. I just want to break this down a little bit because, you know, again, as you said, we definitely did talk about this prior to, and really my whole stance on this was, I'm thinking to myself, like, man, Donald Trump definitely did just get this done. You know, Donald Trump, you know, he may not be doing a lot of things that everybody else out there want him to do, but a lot of people, for whatever odd reason, want this Rush Hour 4. And I just want to ask the chat, like, do y'all really think that we need a Rush Hour 4 all over again?
I say no.
Jackie Chan, you know, and Chris Tucker, you know, on the surface level of things, it seems like another, you know, action comedic movie that, you know, brought so much joy to so many people's lives. I mean, it even went on to go inspire a Kendrick Lamar music video called DNA. You know, so Rush Hour 4, I think, is one of these movies that we will forever hold in our hearts, and I would like to see it all over again, personally, for me. But for the fact that, you know, he got Chris Tucker out and Jackie Chan back working just like that, it made me think to myself, like, you know what, maybe he has love for a community, or maybe there's some hidden agenda that most people from the surface level wouldn't see. And I thought about this, Juice, and I was like, you know, one thing that you guys all should know, and this is a bit of a rabbit hole, that when it comes down to movies that are made, you know, here in America, our government, the Pentagon, you know, has to sign off on these things first, and they actually throw out their own influence or figure out ways to make America look strong in movies, you know, and who's more important and more stronger in America than a black man? All right. And secondly, Jackie Chan being from the Asian continent, all right, the continent of Asia, this could be a ploy to make better relationships with our people across seas. It's all I'm saying. That's what could actually be happening before our eyes, and we not even know it. We don't even realize how much Chinese influence came after the first Rush Hour movie.
Okay.
Come on, Lee. Come on.
For sure.
Black folks ain't say that.
Yeah, we were very racist when it came to that. But Jackie Chan is 71, all right, for somebody who had asked in the chat. I don't remember who.
Get that old man back to work.
And Tucker over here, he has not headlined a major film since 2007. So,
and that was Rush Hour 3.
That would be nice for him to be able to, you know, get that back, get that money. But honestly, if they're gonna do another movie, they could keep it if they're not gonna have those same like racial undertones and like sarcasm that made the film what it was to begin with. You know,
we need that.
If y'all gonna keep it safe and play it by the rules and try to not be, you know, overly insensitive to certain groups, you know, and if you want to try to just keep it I don't know, but don't do that. Don't do that. We want the same Rush Hour that we have had in the past, where it was very funny. Y'all hit on a lot of racial commentary, a lot of racial jokes, and just leave it at that. That's what I would say. Like, don't switch it up.
I wouldn't want them to switch it up whatsoever. They should double down even more so on all of those things. If you know, me being me, if I was the director, that's what I would say. Double down on it, man, because some of that culture definitely needs to come back. I think America was better then when we had those kinds of jokes. But anyway,
because the world is sensitive now, y'all. We
too
have
damn
become
sensitive.
so just like can't take a joke, can't take anything. So.
Yeah, that's why we joke about everybody on our platform.
No,
because,
we definitely do.
That's truly what makes us human. And if you talk about, you know, diversity, I think, you know, we should all be able to laugh at each other to some degree. You
No,
know,
I feel it.
So I would love to see Jackie Chan make a few jokes about, Chris Tucker and vice versa, and I would love to see exactly how it all plays out in the end, and even I want to say this too, because when it first had spawned and, Juice, I was like, dang, Donald Trump got this done. I don't know if he did or if he didn't, but I also was thinking that this might be some opportunity for Donald Trump to use leverage against Chris Tucker, because we know Chris Tucker went to them Epstein Islands, all right? Secondly, the fact that Paramount is the movie or production movie place that's going to get this done or whatever with Rush Hour 4, it made me think about the deal that Donald Trump just struck with Saudi Arabia, the fact that Saudi Arabia is going to have a lot of influence inside of our movie production companies, and Paramount being one of them, as well as Comcast. It made me feel like, they may have already, when they did that deal, said Rush Hour 4 needs to be in the mix, because they may actually love Rush Hour 4. So,
all right, y'all, that was something juicy.
Yeah.
And now we are about to head into, I guess, hour 2 in a minute here, but
oh, for real? Dang.
Yeah, we're about to head into hour 2.
I like it, man. We just be flowing, bro. I like it. It's like, just give me a paintbrush and let me paint.
For sure. But should we hear a word from our sponsors first?
I think we should always hear a word from our sponsors.
All right. Where's the word?
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm thick cut bacon sizzling on your stove. And while you were over there smearing your bagel, this little piggy went on a splatter spree. And if you don't have the right home insurance coverage, you'll be crying wee over this fire in your home. So get Allstate.
Contact Milwaukee Allstate agent Cindy Johnson today at 414-445-2558.
Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
And we're back.
Yes, it is hour 2 of Jammin With Juice. Thanks, y'all, for kicking it with us here today. As we are about to get into a conversation here that I have been seeing brewing on my timeline all week so far. And it is about Kandi Burruss, you guys, and her divorce from husband Todd Tucker. Another Tucker that we we're just discussing and talking about. But
Todd Tucker.
Real quick, so Kandi Burruss is opening up a little bit more on her divorce from Todd Tucker. She says that the split had been brewing for a little bit, you guys. So she was saying that on Amazon Live, she was featured on there recently, I think on Monday actually, but she said she filed to divorce Todd last Friday, but says that they had been hurtling towards a divorce for a while. Sources told TMZ that Kandi and Todd actually separated a few months ago after growing apart from some time, and TMZ was told that it was an amicable split with legitimately no drama, you guys. So they didn't have drama. They actually have been seen recently at their daughter Blaze's her name is Blaze. Her daughter's Blaze's 6th birthday party, literally the day after she filed the divorce documents, and she said that her and Todd will spend Thanksgiving together as a family. With her marriage ending, Kandi says she's up and down, doing well at some points and then having moments of sadness and being all over the place. She says it means nothing to see her smiling and acting happy online. In reality, she says, I have been going through it, y'all. So don't be thinking just because somebody out there smiling and cheerful and doing the things that they need to do that they're not somewhat hurting inside. She says she doesn't regret anything about her marriage. She met Todd on Real Housewives of Atlanta in 2011, got engaged 2 years later, and tied the knot in 2014 before having her two kids. But bottom line for Kandi, she says sometimes things don't work out and it just is what it is. Now, since this news has broke, y'all, everybody has been giving their thought pieces on what could have been the actual reason why this even happened. They were like, did she cheat? Did he cheat? Because we always go straight for cheating. But sometimes if that's what they're saying is it was just amicable and they just decided that they didn't want to be married anymore, that's a difficult thing to even come to, you know what I mean? Like, to be able to decide like, hey, this marriage is no longer working for me. I still love you as the father of my children and as the person I have spent some of my life with, but we just kind of have to move on a little bit. And so I've been seeing some backlash of how people feel about Todd himself, saying that he plotted on this for a while. Like, if you guys paid attention to him on the show, you could tell that he let's say, for example, he wasn't really into her, or he has been plotting and planning and scheming on trying to get her money, because, you know, Kandi is worth a lot of money, y'all. She was in the R&B group. What's the R&B group called? Jesus. I slipped my mind. No, it wasn't SWV. It was like In Vogue. Are you looking it up?
Yep.
SWV wasn't with Tiny and Kandi and all of them.
Oh, Escape. My bad.
Escape.
Yep,
Jesus. I'm the girl here. I should know that. But who said SWV? I said In Vogue. But anyway, with Escape, yes, Escape, and it escaped my mind, the name of the group. But she's been making money since then. She is a lovely songwriter, making songs for like all the greats. So her money runs really, really long, y'all. So some people are saying like, oh, he set this up for a while because he just wanted to have some of her money. And now there is actually a clip that has surfaced from a discussion that they were actually having while Kandi was getting her makeup done. And they were talking about who should get what when it comes to the money when a man and a woman gets divorced, especially when a woman, let's say she might have been making a lot of money before they even got divorced. So let's see and hear what they had to say.
Able to handle his own.
So you gained your money while the man was with you, and he nurtured you, he helped you, gave you ideas, he was a part of that, you know, that progression. You don't think he should get anything? You did it all.
What is he? Nobody said she did it all.
You do that. Let's work on this. Like he's setting you up. He's organizing you. He's getting your shit right.
You saying like a Wendy Williams situation?
Oh, I don't really know that thing, but I'm just saying that he helps you blow up.
Well, I'm saying because he was like her manager, right?
No, I'm just saying someone who like really influences, who's really there. So now you blew up. You wasn't blown up. Now you blew up.
Okay, I like how Steve Harvey saying he is now with his wife. But the money I had when I came in this thing,
But nobody's talking about. Nobody's.
No,
even,
but
that's not even part of the conversation.
No, but it is to me, because what I'm saying is, when you and I got together in marriage,
right,
and we made more businesses, we made more, there were more things happening.
Right.
To me, the money that was made after marriage, that's a different conversation, because we both contributed, whatever.
Woo! All right, you guys. So that was a clip. Shout out to Fox Soul. They posted that just yesterday, I believe. Yeah, it was about 20 hours ago that they had posted that online. And they say it is an old clip from like 2023, but they're saying that this is very telling for what could be potentially going on right now and why people are saying they think Todd is just after her for her money and things like that. Because in the clip, as you guys heard, it seems like Kandi is kind of saying all the money that I had before I got married, that's my money. Like nobody deserves to get that money in a divorce. Anything that we brought in together after the fact, that we could split that because we helped build that together. But what Todd is saying is like, oh wait though, like what about the ways that I have helped, or a man has helped build up their woman, because there's a lot of things behind the scenes that a man might do to contribute to help that woman get to where she's at, where, he's not the face of it, obviously, but he still put in that work. Should he still get some of that? And so I think it's very interesting because I don't really hear this conversation too much when the shoe is on the other foot. And like, I'm not trying to play devil's advocate here. I'm just speaking from what I have seen. But like, let's say we have a basketball player, right? Let's say I'm looking at you.
Okay.
Wow, you ain't even looking at me back. That's crazy. We have a basketball player, right? And let's say that this basketball player has a whole lot of money and he ends up getting with some young woman who doesn't really have a career for herself. Right. She's just like being a baby mama to him, whatever it is, right? If they were to get married and then later on get divorced, I feel like she's still going to be compensated fairly for being with him and just being married, especially if they don't have like a prenup type situation. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that. A lot of times when it comes down to the divorce between a man and a woman, and a man has already, made himself the man he wanted to be, the woman ends up walking away with a lot more.
Exactly. She ends up getting some of his money, even though she didn't necessarily contribute to it outside of, before they got married and they just have like a kid together, right? So when I'm hearing that Miss Kandi here is saying like, okay, anything that I had beforehand, you definitely don't deserve any of that. While I don't disagree with that, I think that we should also feel that same way when it is a man with all of the money and, the woman didn't necessarily do anything. Also, I just want to point out there too that with Todd and with Kandi, they have a lot of businesses together that since they have been married, they have expanded for sure and have made a lot of money together. So either way, whatever they end up coming to the conclusion of how much one person should get over the other, I'm sure it will be fair because they have built up a lot together. But it was just an interesting thing to me because I just don't see that usually on the other side, y'all. Like when a woman wants to get a divorce from a man and she hasn't really helped build him up, or she wasn't with him shooting in the gym, I don't usually see people saying like, oh, I don't really see her not getting a large chunk of that pie unless they had something prior to set in place. But what do y'all think? Put in the chat, like who deserves to get what type of money? Like, should it be shared? Should it be split? Why is there such a big difference between a woman having her money first before she got married versus a man having his money first before getting married? I don't know, seems hypocritical in a sense to me.
And I mean, I would assume right now that Kandi has a lot more money than her ex-husband right now, right?
Soon to be ex-husband. Because and I think that's one of the reasons why she's really, and this is a conversation to be had, because in the state of Georgia, it's typically 50-50 unless somebody else has a significantly a lot more money than the other person. And it seems to me, that when it comes down to, marriage, like you just said, Juice, a lot of times it tips in the woman's favor. However, if the man happens to do a lot more, or he can actually show that, hey, I have had a significant amount of energy put into this relationship and have done a few different things, especially if he has more dealings with the kids or whatever, it may go into his favor, and that's why I say, before you guys do get married, know who the hell you dealing with. I think a lot of times people jump into marriages and don't understand the person that they're with, because that person can leave you, and if they ever do leave you, you need to know the ramifications of what could come after. I just don't think it's easy to say, you need to know who you're dealing with, but people change, bro.
That's
like
true.
people change within
bro.
5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, where you don't necessarily recognize the person who you were with anymore, and it's just like, what do you do then? You still have to make the tough decision to potentially get a divorce from them.
And see, and this is the thing too, as people change and grow, like, they always say that it's typically a huge percentage of people who do get divorced, it's typically because the woman wants the divorce. The woman is the person who's like, you know what, I'm finna get divorced, versus the man. The man typically is willing to go through hell and hot water for his woman, but as soon as the woman feels like, you know what, he may be a burden on me, he may be breaking me down, dragging me down, she ready to go up and jump and live her best life.
I think it depends though on if he has a lot of money or not, because some men stay and cheat in a marriage and be unhappy in their marriage just because they don't want to have to give their money up. That's why they don't file for divorce.
But most women file for divorce first, and that's
right. But you're saying men don't file for divorce.
I'm not saying, I never said that men don't file for divorce.
You're saying women do it more often.
Yes, women typically do it more often.
And I'm telling you why that is the case, in my opinion. It's because men have sometimes, depending on the man, he might have a lot of the money, especially if she's just like a stay-at-home mom type of situation. And what do they say? It's cheaper to keep her, right? Mm-hmm. It's just cheaper to keep her. Even if you're not happy with the way your marriage is going, you're not going to try to get a divorce because you don't want her to take all of your money.
I don't agree with that though. It's cheaper to keep her, man, because ultimately you may go and live by the mantra it's cheaper to keep her, but at the same time, if you're living by that mantra, you may be paying by giving up your mental health. You may be paying by your emotional state, your spiritual state of what you're actually giving up in this relationship. She may have you stressed out each and every day, but you finna go ahead and stay in this relationship just because you want to save your money. Nah, man, save your peace.
But it might not even be, well, I don't want to say it might not even be about peace, but that's why sometimes they end up getting like a side chick or something like that, because it's like, okay, I'm gonna just deal what I have to deal with when I'm at the crib, but when I'm not at the crib, I'm about to get my peace elsewhere. You know, that's how these guys out here be ended up having second families that you know nothing about, because that's where a lot of their time is going. Is this going to that side chick who's bringing them that peace?
Yeah. I mean, and see, that's the thing though. You know, we were just talking about the side piece conversation just because, you know, Summer Walker wanted to be a side piece. Like, you know what? She like, Rich the Kid, I just want to be your side piece. I see your wife over there, but let me play my position up over here. You know, and then the audio gets leaked. And I think, again, you know, we have to tap back into who we are as people. You know, we have to really know who we are and know what we want before we decide to make a commitment. Because, you know, ultimately,
I don't agree.
Well, you should know at least some. If you're 30 plus, you should know something of what you want in life. All right, if you are 30 plus, you should know something of what you want in life, even when it comes down to love. You should be, especially if you're going to make a commitment to somebody. That's what your boy Jammin is saying. You shouldn't just be out here playing with people's hearts or anything like that. Make some kind of commitment, and you know, then I think things will flow a little bit easier for you in life. But as long as you out here, you know, making a commitment to one person, but then playing over here in this area and playing over here in this area, that's how your life ends up becoming very messy. As you just said before, a gentleman out here having, you know, a family out in Kenosha, then having a family in Milwaukee, then having a family over in Madison, Wisconsin. You know how stressed out that man has to be? Or do you realize how, you know, separated each and every one of his seeds will be from their siblings? You know, it causes the whole broken family idea as it keeps on permeating, unless you decide to bring all those women together. Just saying.
No, I can understand what you're coming from, but that's also a reason why I feel like it's taking people a lot longer to even deciding to get married, because they don't want to have to deal with the potential divorce. You know, they don't want to have to deal with heartbreak. I don't even think it's about heartbreak. Honestly, I think people be thinking about money.
Nobody want to be over there.
I'm not gonna lie to you. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. The guys that I have talked to or heard from, they ain't saying nothing about no heartbreak. They're talking about their money.
Man, folks not finna tell you about their emotional state. Like, they're not finna just open up and be like, bro, I was really heartbroken over that girl. You know what I'm saying? And cry to you about it. You know what I'm saying? And
I can agree with that part, but they be mentioning their money.
I'm just saying, shoot. and I guess, you know.
You think that's just the cover up?
Part of it is money, but at the same time, if you care about that person, just like it is when it comes down to Kandi Burruss and her dude right now, or soon to be ex-husband or whatever, they're definitely gonna be a little bit shook up and heartbroken behind all of this. I would assume so. Being together for 14 years since 2011 till now, you know, it's one of these things that you sat back and you watched Kandi, you know, blow up through being up on the TV. You know, she may have had her radio dealings and her music dealings beforehand, but her actually coming to the TV screen, I think, you know, heightened her whole entire brand and revived her brand. So he saw her elevation throughout that time period, and I'm certain that he was helping her, helping build her up throughout that time. But now it's like, you know what? That was one point in my life. Now this time is up, and it's time to move on.
I just feel like that doesn't get highlighted. That doesn't get highlighted enough, in my opinion. Is the work that a man might be doing behind the scenes, and I'm not saying this is for Kandi and Todd. I don't know what they got going on behind the scenes, but if the woman is the front-facing person, right? People would just assume that the guy she's with ain't doing nothing, when really he's probably doing a lot of things to like help her be who she is, you know? And so I don't think it's fair to call somebody like a bum just because the one person might be more known than the other one. You know, like, that's not fair to say.
But that's how, you know, it's public perception though, you know, because somebody may think that, you know, oh man, your man ain't doing nothing for you, your girl ain't doing nothing for you, but you don't know what goes on inside that person's home. You know, you don't know who's taking up more of the chores, you don't understand who's paying more of the bills, you know, you really don't know, and that's why you can't judge a book by a cover. You know, the only people who really know what was going on in that particular relationship is those people who were in that relationship. They know every conversation, and you know, they know every argument they may have even had, you know, and then some of them may have actually lost a few brain cells in between that, you know what I'm saying? They may have lost a few brain cells. So, you know, it's definitely devastating. I would believe that when it comes down to finding somebody that you love and having to separate from them, it's one of them things like, damn, like I never wanted to come to this, but, you know, I got to move on.
Let's see what they're saying in the chat.
You know, hit the confessions with them. You know,
what you get the O from? That was Omarion, wasn't it?
Well, the O was, but the O came from Confessions first, though. You know, when Usher did the Confessions joint.
What part?
I think it's actually, you know what? It's Let It Burn. My bad. My bad. It was Let It Burn, y'all.
Got it.
I think it's time for Let It Burn when you're feeling things and ain't nobody do. But
Do you know the lyrics?
Let's go. Somebody ain't nothing like you used to. Like it. Let it burn. Gotta let it burn. Gotta let it burn.
All right, let's head to the chat. Let's see what the chat is saying right now. Sincere says arguments don't matter if it's documented in the prenuptial. I agree with that. That's why some people
How many
have
people
to
really
make
get
sure.
in the prenups, though?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
Like, how many folks really getting the prenup work?
But that's why it's something important that you should think about, because if you are somebody who has a lot of money, you need to figure out, like, okay, how is this all going to go down? How is this all going to go down when it's all said and done? All right. You got Trey Tay, who says, I agree with what Kandi said, but if it was a man who had majority of the money, just know the woman more times than not is trying to break his heart. I get that one right there. We got Josh Germain, who says, that's why it's key for women who got a bag to not date or marry a guy who's not on her level. He will never respect her because he's too insecure that he couldn't get it on his own. This is a perfect example. Men expect women to not be the breadwinner because they just want to enslave her to be a housewife for free labor and call it marriage. Most men project women will do them the same way. Shaking my head. Dang, is that do you think that that's true? Like, should people date on their level, like their money level, in their price range?
I think it's
man, but see, Josh. Okay, keep going.
No, go ahead. Go
I was gonna say, like, I don't know if that's fair to say, because, like I said, on the other side, we don't look at it that way. Like, when it comes to a man, he could pick up a woman who's working at Wendy's if he got a lot of money, and he gonna change her life and not even care where she coming from, not even care what her background is, not even care like if she has money or not. He just gonna pick her up and change her life, I guess, because in his mind, men are supposed to provide anyway. But then when it's on the other side, it's like, oh, well, if a woman is making a lot of money, she can't date the bus driver. You know, she has to date the 6-figure, 7-figure CEO who's making at least the same amount of money as her or more money than her. And I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I think that that's not fair, but I think that maybe that's just how society is and how they think of things, and that's just the differences between men and women.
Very true, because at the end of the day, you know, a lot of people would go to assume that the man has to take care of the woman and never that the woman has to take care of the man. And if you ever take a look at relationships or marriages that have worked out, when, you know, it'd be them old couples who've been together for, you know, decades on end, at some point in time, you know, it kind of floated in between who had more or who was taking up more of the relationship, whether it was, you know, Barack Obama and Michelle. They may have both been financially stable. However, Michelle went on to go say that she hated Barack Obama for a solid 10 years. So you don't know the type of weight that she was putting on her shoulders just to make certain that she could maintain that relationship. All the stuff that Barack may have been saying to Michelle that she like, this N-word pissing me off. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, I can smack 5 from your mouth right now. I don't give a damn about you being the senator of Chicago right now. I really don't care, Barack. You know, she could have been on all those types of things. So you never know who has to carry more weight with inside of those relationships. But when it comes down to financially, should you actually date on your financial level? I could see how it could be somewhat easier to build with. And especially if you're looking at marriage as a business, as it once historically was, or how some, you know, communities look at it as, or you could truly just be marrying for love and out of love, which typically, from what we've seen for the movie screens, tend to be the better relationships. You know, if you just marry somebody for who they are, the character that they are, you know, you may not ever end up in a divorce just because you know the type of person that this person is. They could be a good-hearted person, good-spirited person. You know, you guys may have some great sex together as well. You know, you like, you know what, this really is my rock, and I'm gonna stick it out with this person no matter if they're broke, no matter if they're rich, no matter if they're, you know, just super poor. I'm gonna make certain that this person can figure it out and I can figure it out with them. And those tend to be the relationships that somebody, you know, ends up being with forever. You know, on the other end, you know, you do see where people already come in as established individuals, may meet later in their 30s or whatever, and they're both established, got both good, you know, budding careers and things of that nature. But because of them not doing the work on each other or the inner workings on the inner workings on themselves, so they could actually truly grow a union together. Knowing this person in their worst of times, knowing this person in their best of times, knowing this person when they're sad, knowing this person when they're happy. If they didn't do those types of works together, then they may truly grow apart.
Yeah, you said a whole lot there. you said a whole lot. But yeah, it's just interesting to me how, things can get flipped and how people can see things differently just based off of if it's coming from a man's side or if it's coming from a woman's side. But I want to head to the chat real quick over some things that people are saying. I think Trey Tay was saying all men aren't jealous over their woman. And you have some women jealous of their man's success, saying Ayesha Curry is jealous of Steph Curry's success. I'm not even going to get into that right now.
You're super messy, ain't he? I believe that though, Trey Tay. I really
you believe
do.
What? That Ayesha jealous of Steph?
Yeah, like I really do believe she is jealous of Steph Curry, bro. Like they may have this wonderful life together, but at the end of the day, I think Ayesha Curry is truly envious of Steph Curry. Like she's married Superman, and she wants to be Superwoman, but she don't got no superpowers. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she goes on to say that, ultimately she wanted to go and chase her dreams, and she has put her dreams on the back burner for Steph Curry's success. I understand that. I'm a dreamer myself. I would never want, my dreams to be stifled by anybody that I was truly in a relationship with and said that I love. I would never want that to be a case. However, she's allowed these things to happen, and I think she should be more happy for Steph Curry and just find her pocket where she can be happy.
But why
she's
do you
been
think
a mother
she's
before.
not happy?
Because of the things that she does and says inside of these interviews. Like, she needs to not be in the interview anymore at all, because she makes Steph Curry look bad. Like, what did she say last time? It's actually what I'm spewing out right now. How she went on to go say, like, hey, I married Steph Curry, NBA basketball player, but on top of being married to him, I had to be a mom, and it's no down talk to moms. That's a beautiful thing. And she had to be a mom, she had to be a cook, she had to learn all these other things to how to move inside of Steph Curry's world, and didn't really create a world of her own. And I could understand where she's coming from, but if you're, comfortable to sit back on a couch and voice these opinions about, and voice your feelings about, your husband and yourself and your place in your own relationship, I think you should truly take some time for yourself to go and actually go out there and venture out. If I was Steph Curry and this is my wife saying these types of things inside of interviews or whatever, I would make certain that she finds her place in her own world. I think sometimes we do get too caught up in somebody else's world, and we become somebody's, boyfriend, somebody's girlfriend, somebody's son, somebody's, daughter, somebody's, uncle, whatever it may have you, and you don't take time to build for yourself. And I think when you don't take time to build for yourself, that's what ends up happening. You end up becoming an Ayesha Curry, hating on your lover, hating on your spouse, not seeing and then actually, valuing the success that your counterpart is having or has had.
I don't think she's jealous of him at all.
Why not?
Because I think she was just expressing what you said, as far as, she didn't really see this life for herself in this particular way, and she's trying to figure out a way to get it to how she would want it to be. I think she's very happy with her husband. I think she's proud of all of his success. I think she's just saying she doesn't want to just be known as only this one thing, as just Steph Curry's wife. She's an individual person, and she had her own dreams before she started being with, Steph and having all of these children. I think that she just wanted to express that. Yeah. That's what I thought of it. I didn't necessarily think she was jealous. And I would be interested to see how Steph Curry honestly feels about this. Because, yes, he's quiet. He doesn't say anything. He does not do interviews like that at all whatsoever. But I wonder if people are just projecting like their own thoughts and feelings of how they feel about it onto him versus how he actually truly honestly feels about it. Because it's like, oh, he's embarrassing Steph, she's embarrassing Steph. It's like, how does Steph feel? Does he feel embarrassed? I would love to know. And maybe as a man, you're thinking from a man's perspective, and you're like, no, as a man, I know for a fact he's feeling some type of way. He's just not going to say it. I'm not a man. I can't say what he might or might not be feeling. But I just don't want people to be projecting how they feel about the situation and what they would or wouldn't do onto their situation and what they got going on.
Yeah, I think she needs to be more like LeBron James' wife.
Why does everybody always compare them,
Needs to be more like, because Steph Curry is one of the greatest of all time. All right, if we truly be honest, that's number one. Like, so we already have our hearts tied to what Steph Curry got going on. Number two, LeBron James, I'm certain he's done his things behind closed doors. Savannah ain't never came forward to say any of this stuff. Savannah ain't never felt like she had to just sit in an interview. You know, she just was like, you know what, I'm gonna be a good mom. This is what I'm gonna do. We may live in a nice house, but I'm gonna go ahead and respect my king. I'm gonna respect King James, and that's just what it's gonna be. On the other end, you got Ayesha Curry over here talking about, you know, what I wish I could have done, you know, publicly. Does she ever realize how, and we were just talking about the PR idea, does she ever realize how the public may interpret what she's saying, or does she just go out there and spew things out? Because this could truly impact the Curry brand forever, you know, especially after his tenure is over.
I mean, I would say she's not wrong for saying how she felt and being honest.
Then tell that to your husband. Don't tell it to a microphone.
She had.
Don't talk about it on a podcast.
Said it to her husband.
What happened to your vows?
But I will say it might not have been the wisest thing that she could have done, is go and, you know, bring all of this attention to the situation, because you know how the public, even if you have good intentions about it, and because in that interview, she even later on went on to go say how much she loves Steph, she loves their marriage, she's so happy with him and all of the things. They're not going to clip that part up. They're just going to clip up the part that is going to get the most hits, the most views, the more comments and engagement and controversy. But as the wife, or even as the husband, if roles were flipped, you do have to be a little bit more mindful of how things can be interpreted. No, she's not necessarily wrong for how she feels, but I don't know if it was the wisest thing for her to go do, because now it has stirred up so much conversation, and we don't know how that affects her household.
And we don't know how it affects her household. We truly don't know. We don't know what's happening behind the closed doors of the Curry house. However, what we do know is how the public is starting to feel about Ayesha Curry, and how some people who do follow Steph Curry going to say, they're like, you know what? I think Ayesha Curry and Steph Curry need a divorce. And this comes around full circle.
That's what I'm talking
this
about.
Comes around full circle.
Now they need to divorce, bro.
This is what the internet is saying.
People are projecting.
And people do project. People do project.
Like, that's dumb.
But it also causes the energy and the ripple effects for it to actually truly happen.
I hope that they are able to stay together forever. I will say that maybe they do need to chill out on talking a lot.
Yeah.
But like, I wouldn't want to put that on them, because divorce is not like a fun thing to go through, I'm assuming.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, his wife, don't be out here doing all the interviews, getting all the press. She don't be caring about none of that stuff. Ayesha wants some of that fame, bro. She wants some of the limelight. There's so many different NBA basketball wives who the basketball wives didn't even come out and say there was basketball wives like that until Basketball Wives, the show dropped. Okay, and they're the old women. All right, they're the older women who age like fine wine, who know the game about being an NBA basketball wife. So I'm just saying, take a page out of their book, Ayesha, and be quiet. Sit down somewhere.
All right,
go dribble a ball.
We're going to make room for the rap.
Okay, look, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I am finna to go to the bathroom before we go in. Before we go ahead and make room for the rabbit hole. Let's make room for Benjamin's bladder. All right.
So now what?
I'll just talk for like 2 seconds, bro.
Go pee, bro.
I've been sweating, bro.
Well, how do I turn this off? Oh, there we go. I'm gonna just hit the button, turn it off. I'm gonna just talk to y'all while he gotta go pee before we make room for the rabbit hole. I'm gonna finish up what we were talking about here, talking about Ayesha Curry and Kandi Burruss, and when it comes to divorces and things like that. Now, I'm seeing Trey Tay in these comments keep talking about her taking off her wedding ring. She was kind of like playing a little bit when she was on The Talk. I think that's what the show was called. She was on The Talk, and she took that wedding ring, and she was just like, I'm gonna fake take this off because a man walked in and he had his shirt off and all this other stuff. I took it as it was a joke, Trey Tay. I thought that she was joking. Now, was it the best joke that she could have done? Absolutely not. All right. It wasn't the best joke that she could have done, because if a man were to have done that, I do understand that on the other side of it all, if a nice woman comes in, like a Hooters woman is coming into an interview space and you over here acting like you about to take your ring off, you definitely are going to get some backlash. All right. I definitely think it was like a sense of humor type of situation with Aisha. I don't think she meant anything necessarily bad, by it when she was taking off her ring and things like that. Maybe that's just how she jokes. But I will say, if a man did that, it would 100% be a different type of situation. But let that woman live, y'all. Like, y'all gotta let her live and stop comparing her to Savannah. I don't like when we do that. Like, I understand Savannah is like at the top of the list when it comes to sports wives and how she handles things. She don't talk too much, even though she does have her podcast now. But it's like, come on, like let's just let everybody be individuals and let them have their conversations whenever they need to. But that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, man. Love who you love. If we're going in that conversation, just love who you love, man, and just hope that they are down for you throughout, through thick and thin. Because some people will leave and just flake out on you.
For sure.
Yep. But I think it's time for us to go down rabbit hole. Okay, Juicy Jammers, if you don't know what a rabbit hole is, it is a piece of information you find on the internet or experience in real life that takes you from one piece of information you find to another, up until your curiosity is satisfied. And today, Juicy Jammers, we could talk about how, and I'm actually in love with this idea right here. I'm not going to lie to you. Some people have been going on and talking about AI this, AI that, who's going to stay with it, who's not. Well, rumors are going out right now saying that iHeartRadio is taking a firm stance against AI, all right, in its programming.
Saw that.
Yeah. And a new staff memo and executive announced that the company will not play AI-generated music or use AI-generated on-air personalities across its stations. Let's go, iHeart, okay? The memo emphasized a commitment to real artists and real voices, promising listeners an authentic human experience at a time when AI-made songs and virtual DJs are becoming more common in the industry. iHeartRadio's stance places it among the first major media companies to publicly reject AI-driven audio content, sparking broader conversation about the future of creativity in radio. So with that being said, I know a lot of people have been talking about the AI artist, Zanaya Monet, and this really raises an eyebrow into the future of AI artists and just AI anything when it comes down to real personalities. I was actually listening to an AI song as I came up here. It was actually my brother's song. Shout out to Playfessionals. But they made their own song called Playfessionals. And I ain't gonna lie, when I first turned this joint on, bro, I'm like, man, this is really a bop. Like, this is really a hit. Like, This is a hit record. But as I drove my car listening to the record, because I played it like 3-4 times for real, I realized that if this is the sound...
He didn't wash his hands.
Why y'all worried about that, bro?
Disgusting. You better keep pushing. You gotta
remember we did that, bro? You remember we did that?
What did we do?
Remember, I went to the bathroom and I came back. I was like, shake my hand, bro.
Oh yeah, because you're disgusting.
That's crazy.
Keep it going.
I do wash my hands, man. Sometimes. But anyway.
No, AI is like literally taking off. I'm not gonna lie to you. I found a really great R&B AI group recently.
Really?
Yeah,
AI group?
Yeah, it came across my TikTok and I was just like, ooh, what is this? And so I looked them up and they got a whole album out now and it sounds really good. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, it's called District 4 if y'all want to go check it out. But they got a really good R&B group. I'm not even lying to you. You should check it out. But it's called District 4.
I'm not opposed.
And it is, it's funny that iHeart is saying this and they're taking a stance and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they just want to be the hero right now because people don't even like the radio like that anymore. And it's like, you don't need the radio in order to even like pop anymore. Yeah. Everything is based off of social media, and if social media is pushing something, it's going to be pushed. You know what I'm saying? So
that is real.
If it's on Apple, if it's on Spotify, it doesn't have to be on the radio, because you want to know who's not on the radio and it has $1 million, $3 million deal right now is Zanaya Monet.
That's real.
So yeah, that's nice and cute, iHeart, and I appreciate you for all the work that you do. But I don't know if that will have a big effect on what's to come in the future. You can't stop what's to come, you know.
And I will agree with that. When the universe decides to put something out there, mankind can't stop it. We only have to, adapt with it, But AI is man-made. All right, AI is man-made. And then secondly, I do want to put this out there though, that the idea of radio, it's actually still expanding. Although all the cool things now is happening on the Spotify's and Apple Musics and stuff like that, radio is still a big portion of people's day. A lot of people still listen to it. So the impact, the influence they may have by being like, we're not playing AI music, we'll only play real music, is yet to come to actually see what'll happen. Will people only want AI artists? I doubt it, but I do think that there is a lane for it where people are going to be like, I'm down to listen to some AI music, but at the same time, I remember, I think it was Nas who went on to go say that AI is only here to replicate and duplicate. And that's what I think is truly happening. Because as I listen to the AI music that I listen to, I don't hear any creativity being pushed forward. I only hear what's already out there, just put at a professional level. If that makes sense. Mean? Like, okay, the fact that I said, that record that I listened to was a hit. Right? Mm-hmm. That also goes on to say that in my mind, I know what a hit record sounds like, which means that there's already a hit record making sound out here. Meaning that they could hit records could damn near be their own genre of music, if that makes sense to you. So it's what I'm saying is AI is only here to perfect what we got out here, but it doesn't push the needle forward for creativity as far as me being like, there's something new being put out here into the world. They're only copying it and buffering up to make it look pretty. If that makes sense. It's like take all of our music samplings or whatever, because that's basically what AI is doing to make these hit records now. It's basically sampling music from, I'll just say from almost today's time to maybe about mid 2010s. And if you jammed all that together and then told AI to go ahead and make a record right now, it sounds a hit record right now. It sounds a bit just like that. It sounds like a record that I could have been listening to in like 2017. That sounds like a great R&B artist.
What people? What I think you're trying to say here, if I am understanding correctly, because I know this isn't your rabbit hole.
Nope.
But so I want to get to your actual rabbit hole. But you're saying that the AI that you have heard has not sounded like anything we haven't necessarily heard before.
There we go. Yeah. Everything we've already heard is what AI is replicating and duplicating right now.
But that's how I feel about regular artists today.
I think that
they're not pushing the needle forward. They're not creating new sounds, creating new beats, creating new ideas like that. Everything is just being copied or restructured in a way that was from something we've had before.
Well, okay, so Juice, when you're saying artists, I'm thinking about great artists. I'm not thinking about the run-of-the-mill artist, somebody that we just finna just go look on and listen to on Spotify right now. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the great artists that we look for in each decade to be one of them ones. Again, do you think you would get a Kendrick Lamar if we was going with AI? Do we get a Doechii if we're looking for an AI Doechii? We don't. We only get what was put out there before.
I think you could in the future.
I don't believe we could because artists.
This is the beginning stages. Like we truly don't know what the power of this AI tool is going to be able to do for music.
I think it will definitely just be a tool for us to use, but it won't be the main front-facing product that's being pushed.
No, it's just gonna be
we don't get a Kanye West.
It could be a genre. I don't think it's gonna completely take over, and that's why I feel some type of way about people feeling some type of way in a sense, because it's like I don't think that people are just gonna only move towards only listening to AI songs. I think it's just gonna be a portion of it for people who have a different type of creativity and they don't know how to sing, but they know how to write, or they know how to produce, or they know how to do the other parts of it, and they want to use Suno to be able to bring it all together and still express their creativity. I don't think that we should stifle them for that. It's not like the tech is making the tech by itself. Somebody is behind that. Somebody is coming up with certain ideas to make it work and to push out and have a product. So yeah. I don't want them to feel some type of way that they can't also hop in the game just because they don't know how to like sing themselves, or they don't know how to, whatever when it comes to music.
No, that's an interesting point, but we'll just end up having to see exactly what ends up happening behind all of this AI stuff, because it's like you just said, Juice. It's still brand new. We're still figuring it all out. So I don't know. Like I said before, I know for a fact I'm delving more into AI, substituting different people's or artists' voice for when I need somebody. When I need a voice to lend on or whatever, or I need somebody to say something, then that's when I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and be like, I'm finna insert this AI audio right here.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I still, for me as an artist that I am, the greatest artist of all time, I still want to be able to create from a pure heart and soul and mind from the perspectives that I see. Because truthfully, that's what separates artists, is perspective. It's not about how many colors you paint. It's not about how witty your rhymes are, or you talking about whatever. It's truly the perspective that you lend to the audience members. And that's what it's about. That's what makes you so much more valuable than the next person. Like when you listen to a Cat Williams and he's on a stand-up comedic set or whatever, and he's doing what he's doing, you're listening to Cat Williams because you want to hear his perspective on things, and that's what makes it valuable. Versus somebody else who you've heard the same song over and over and over and over again, devaluing the art, devaluing the craft that you're supposed to be giving your all to. That's what people listen to folks for. It's for perspective. Kendrick Lamar has a perspective. Drake has a perspective. Everybody else is just their sons.
That's your opinion.
Let me know if I'm right in the chat. This wasn't even supposed to be what my rabbit hole was, but hey, this Jammin With Juice.
Yeah. Check out District 4 though, y'all. Play it for your families over the holidays. It was actually really nice for Thanksgiving. I would love to see the conversations that AI music stirs up over the dinner tables, for Thanksgiving. And also shout out to Sherwin Hughes. Sincere brought it in here that he has his song or his album, Blue Mist. So check out Sherwin Hughes' Blue Mist jazz album as well, and check out District 4. I thought they were really good.
Yeah, I like, I've always, no, I ain't gonna lie. It took a little minute for me to grow with Sherwin's Blue Mist album. However, I do believe the joint is pretty good.
It's really good.
It sounds nice. I mean,
I like how he titled everything.
Yeah, he's definitely on the Janelle Monáe tip before a lot of other folks was. He could really actually get a record deal off of all of that, to be honest with y'all. Okay. Now, Juicy Jammers, I think it's time for us to continue to go down the rabbit hole. We weren't supposed to do all this, y'all. Anyway, it is what it is. So I'm going to kick it off again. All right, Juicy Jammers, if you don't know what a rabbit hole is, it is a piece of information you find on the internet or experience in real life that takes you from one piece of information you find
to another,
up until your curiosity is satisfied. And today, Juicy Jammers, for November 26th, 2025, my rabbit hole question is... I don't even know the question yet. Yeah, for real though. My rabbit hole question is, honestly, if you had the opportunity to, would you still want to colonize a country? If you had the opportunity to, would you still want to colonize a civilization? We have people out here like the Elon Musk of the world who are talking about colonizing places like Mars. But you know what? This whole story for me actually spawned from a real story. It spawned from a real story here in America that I'm just like, damn, I can't believe this is actually happening. Or this, people attempted to do this. But people are still trying to colonize things here in this world, all right? I was born into this world thinking that this world couldn't be owned. I thought that the earth was just owned by God.
It's flat.
Some folks really do believe the earth is flat.
Do you?
No, hell no. I believe the earth is definitely
don't say it like that, because I wouldn't be surprised if that came out your mouth.
I'm not going to lie. I've fiddled with the conversation, with the idea.
You diddled with it?
I've diddled with it a little bit, just thinking about, okay, what if the earth really is flat? There was one point in time that, a group of people thought that the world was flat. But, knowing what I know now, knowing that, people from Africa had already circumnavigated the globe, built great pyramids and things of that nature that perfectly align with the
Can you
the
please
earth.
go to the rabbit hole? What are you talking about?
Well, you kind of set me off.
I said one comment, and you over here giving the history of freaking air of Africa and the earth being flat.
All right, y'all, man.
That's that ADHD stuff I be talking about.
Maybe I do get ADHD.
We be getting on, you say one thing, and it's just like, boom.
You deterred me, okay?
I'm not talking no more.
I got sideways. I got sidetracked. Anyway, The reason I'm even bringing this up today, and it's like I said before, if you had the opportunity to colonize a country or civilization, would you? The biggest reason is because as soon as I saw this story, I was just like, shame on these people. Shame on these people. And I should have actually expected it from them because it was probably more than likely linked to their ancestry DNA. All right. It was linked to their ancestors. And it even being around the time of Thanksgiving, I think these people wanted to colonize all over again. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and take y'all down a rabbit hole about a story of two gentlemen, all right, who are in the age bracket of MAGA, all right, who wanted to colonize Haiti. Y'all want to hear how they did it? I'm finna take y'all down this rabbit hole. Let's go. Let's see. Let's play this joint.
Miller, we want to warn you that this next story contains details that are rather disturbing and may not be appropriate for young audiences. 2 Texas men have been charged in connection with allegedly plotting to invade a Haitian island, murdering the men there, using the women and children as sex slaves. Authorities say that the two were also planning to recruit people experiencing homelessness here in the district to help them with their plot. And there's also an alleged connection to Joint Base Andrews right here at home. John Duran has been looking over all of these court documents all day long. John, no doubt some very wild and rather disturbing allegations there.
Yeah, serious allegations, Larry. 21-year-old Gavin Weisenberg and 20-year-old Tanner Thomas are facing federal charges, including conspiracy to murder, maim, or kidnap in a foreign country. If convicted, that carries a sentence up to life in prison.
The U.S. Attorney's Office out of Texas's Eastern District says over the course of about a year, Tanner Thomas and Gavin Weisenberg plan to invade Ganave Island, a territory of the Republic of Haiti. Court documents filed Thursday show Thomas and Weisenberg allegedly plan to take the island by force, murder all the men on the island, which has a population of about 87,000 people, and carry out their rape fantasies by turning the remaining women and children into sex slaves. Investigators say the two plan to buy a sailboat to travel from the United States to Ganave Island. They also plan to purchase military-style rifles to use in their coup. According to court documents, in January of this year, Thomas enlisted in the Air Force to gain military training to help carry out the attack. Officials say in February 2025, while in basic training, Thomas had himself reassigned from Ramstein Air Base in Germany to Joint Base Andrews here in Prince George's County. Court documents say he did this to be closer to D.C., so he could allegedly recruit people experiencing homelessness to be part of their plot. In August 2024, Weisenberg allegedly enrolled in the North Texas Fire Academy to get trained in command and control protocols. Court documents show Weisenberg failed out of the academy in February 2025. Afterwards, Weisenberg allegedly traveled to Thailand to enroll in sailing school, but didn't follow through with it because the training was too expensive. Investigators say the two suspects also studied Haitian Creole to help facilitate their armed coup plot.
On top of those allegations, federal prosecutors allege at some point during their plan to overthrow Ganave Island, Thomas and Weisenberg also coerced a minor to be in a child pornography that they filmed. They face 15 to 30 years in prison if convicted of that offense, Larry.
All right. Of course, we will wait and see how things progress through the legal system. John Duran, we appreciate the information. Thank you so much. Miller, we want to.
Wow. Okay. So I'm not going to lie to y'all, Juicy Jammers. When I had even first came across this story, I was thinking to myself, like, these dudes were committed. All right, really committed to insanity. All right, and committed to, their ancestry DNA. Because at the end of the day, what was going through your mind to be like, you know what, bro, let's go ahead and try to take over a whole island in Haiti. All right, for one thing you should know about Haiti. Haiti is one of the only countries to ever form a rebellion, or actually start a rebellion against the English Empire and then win. All right, so for one, if you guys even did decide to go down there, it wouldn't have went down. You guys wouldn't have won this type of battle whatsoever. There are 87,000 people down there. All right, the men and women would have been fighting your ass, okay? Because it's 2025, and ain't nobody going back to no kind of slavery whatsoever. But the fact that they thought they were going to go to D.C., go to the United States Capitol, and recruit a whole bunch of homeless people, it made me think what was going on in their minds. Were they trying to, form a whole new civilization, going down there and raping the men, raping the women and the kids? What is going on in their minds and what's going on in their diet each and every day? Because I thought this was something that got left in the past. However, there are little psychos walking around here right now who truly believe that they own the world and want to take over the world all over again. But anyway, Juicy Jammers, that was the end of my rabbit hole. Hit the chat. Let us know how you feel about this. If you had the opportunity to, would you go out and colonize another civilization? Or do you like the world the way it is? What you think, Juice?
What? I don't even understand what I just watched just now.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's definitely very crazy. And no, I would not try to colonize another place because that's not in my blood to want to do that.
I mean, you end up on an island somewhere, you know?
No,
there's a group of people out there. You're smarter than them, possibly, potentially.
Yeah, but see, that's in their DNA. You know, that's what they want to do. That's what they understand of like how to get success is to do that type of thing. And I'm not saying we didn't do that in Africa, you know, because we definitely thought about it. I feel like in on a smaller scale, maybe, but it's like
it's definitely human nature.
Yeah. I don't think to do that at all. I want to mind my business and drink my water and just do the things that I need to do for my life and my family, and that does not include to want to colonize a island.
Yeah.
No, I'd purchase it, but like. Try to take it over and injure and harm and traumatize the kids and other people. Like, no, it's just like, well, what are we doing here? No.
It made me think about this weird fantasy that, honestly, I didn't even hear this fantasy first from my white friends that I got. It was actually from this weird black dude that I worked with at Walmart, and he was like a janitor or whatever. And he had literally what these people said, he had saying almost virtually the exact same thing. And he was like, you know what, man, if America ever went down, I would first start to, you know, take over my city and town by, you know, killing all the men. You know, kill all the men and then take all the women and children and make them be underneath their rule. And it sickens me that people in today's time still have this type of, like I said, this weird fantasy in their head about getting out of life, you know, and creating their own life, creating their own world and becoming their own gods, so to speak. Because for whatever odd reason, people have this, you know, feeling that they have to rule the world, you know, in order to be successful. So apparently these two gentlemen, they weren't successful in their own life, so they figured they'd go ahead and put their foot on other people's necks in other countries who they would deem to be, you know, a little bit more vulnerable than the next, because they damn for sure couldn't do it here in America.
Yeah, I'm not surprised though, but interesting stuff. We are about to wrap up the show with a bow.
Bro, 2 hours almost.
Give you our drop of juice, and you know what I want the drop of juice to be?
All right.
I want y'all in the chat to say, for those who are still here, to say what y'all are thankful for.
Oh,
I want to know what y'all are thankful for, since tomorrow is Thanksgiving.
You gonna tell us what you're thankful for?
Yeah, for sure. So okay. I'm gonna say what I'm thankful for is my drop of juice, and we're just gonna hear a word from our people, our sponsors. So keep it locked, y'all.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm thick cut bacon sizzling on your stove, and while you were over there smearing your bagel, this little piggy went on a splatter spree. And if you don't have the right home insurance coverage, you'll be crying wee, wee, wee over this fire in your home. So get Allstate.
Contact Milwaukee Allstate agent Cindy Johnson today at 414-445-2558.
Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
And we're back.
You just want to say that.
I do. I like saying that.
All right, y'all. We're about to wrap up the show with a bow.
Yeah.
Giving you our drop of juice here today.
Yeah.
And you know, since tomorrow is Thanksgiving, I am just like, I want us to say what we are thankful for. All right. So put in the chat. I don't see y'all put in the chat just yet, but put in the chat what y'all are thankful for. It could be like one thing, two things, whatever it is. I just want to hear what y'all are thankful for. And then we're going to give y'all ours, what we're thankful for.
All right.
Would you want to go first? Or you want me to go first? Or what do you want to do?
Well, you can go first.
I'm going to say that in 2025... Thanksgiving of 2025, I am thankful for being able to wake up every day and have a sound mind. That is something that I'm going to say that I am thankful for because it's so much going on, you know, like individually, collectively, as a group, with everything going on in America with so many people unemployed, myself included. Well, I got a job, but you know,
You do got a job.
I got a job. You know what I'm saying? But
I know what you're saying. They
so
don't know
many
what you're
other
saying.
people are like legitimately unemployed. They don't know where their next meal could be coming from. We got a certain president in office right now who's taking a lot of things away, who's stripping us of our rights. We got a mental health crisis going on right now, not only with kids but with adults, and it seems like every day is something going on in the news. So for me personally, I'm going to say that I am just thankful to wake up every day and not have lost my mind, because a lot of people out there are really truly going through it. And so I think it's all just a blessing within itself. That's the main thing that I am thankful for this year.
Okay, I think that's beautiful. Juice.
Give me applause.
Yeah, give me some applause,
Okay.
bro. Give me some applause.
What are you thankful for your drop of juice?
You know what though? Us having this conversation now, you know, thinking about what I am thankful for this entire year, you know, woo!
Or it could be just this week.
Yeah.
Today, this
Okay,
month.
look, I'm not gonna get that deep. I'm not gonna get
'Cause
that
I know
deep.
you were
I'll
going
pull it
down
back. I really was going down that rabbit hole. But you know what though, man? First and foremost, gotta be thankful for God. All praises due to you. Thank you for keeping, you know, me safe throughout the tenure of my life, keeping me healthy, keeping my family in good graces, allowing me to see another day and, you know, share it with them. I'm thankful for my friends. You know, I'm thankful for just opportunities in life, man, to in every moment for me to just show up and be myself. You know, thank you for always pulling me out the dark when, you know, I may not be able to see the light. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm thankful for, man.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Oh, my God. That's crazy.
All right. Hit our outro music. All right, y'all. I want to read what y'all are thankful for real quick. We got Essie in the chat saying, I'm thankful that me and my loved ones are alive and healthy 100%. You won't want to take that for granted. And Tyler Hadley also says, I'm thankful for my family and my friends. All right. I hope y'all spend the time tomorrow with your loved ones. Y'all get some good food, some good grubbing in. It's going to be really nice. It's going to be really cool. Enjoy y'all day off. I don't know if y'all are off Friday as well, but yeah, enjoy y'all time off from your work. And yeah, y'all, don't underestimate the power of having a sound mind. Like, that is something that we have to be thankful for a whole lot more, because there's so much going on in the world. But I'm gonna get off of my soapbox and I'm gonna say see y'all. What day? Friday?
Yeah, on Friday.
Yeah, see
we
y'all
not gonna be here on Thursday, y'all. We're gonna be eating stuff on our faces.
Yes, we will be back Friday. So that's where you can find us 7 a.m. right here on Jammin With Juice, baby.
Is that right?
I am your girl, Noni Juice, always keeping it juicy. That has been Jammin'.
Fresh dinner, yeah.
All right, it's amazing for sure. Now sit on that. Enjoy your rest of your day. Enjoy your holiday. And thank y'all so much for rocking with us. See y'all Friday. Lord willing. Bye.
Porridge. Okay.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Is that right?
Like, comment, share, subscribe. Subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your people, tell your mama and your daddy and your baby mama and your baby daddy and your cousin and your aunties and your grandpa and your grandma.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
Yeah.
Is it snowing?